Oh, okay. Have I got a treat in store today? I was coming to the end of my work day when I found there was a parcel waiting for me outside the door, and inside was my Titanium Man from Marvel Select. I feel like I've been waiting for this guy for about a year. I'm sure it can't be that long, but I feel like I put my pre-order in that long ago. It's been a very long wait to get hold of him, but finally he has arrived today. So I'll be giving you my first honest thoughts as I unbox him and give him a quick review. But I think the first thing to comment on that this obviously is Titanium Man. He's a character who's been around for a very long time in the Marvel Universe, particularly associated with Iron Man, of course. This is a really very welcome addition to the Marvel Select line, and something of a surprise, to be honest, because Titanium Man, he doesn't seem to rank as anyone's favourite villain, but nevertheless he is quite popular and he has a really cool design. And of course, we don't really have a Marvel Legends version of this character, not in this costume anyway. And of course the thing that's really exciting is that having a Titanium Man in the Marvel Select line means of course he is oversized. So if you want to put him next to your Marvel Legends Iron Man, you're going to have a pretty good scale. So this costume is based of course on his classic appearance. As we can see throughout the years, he's been a reoccurring menace to Iron Man, and of course he is this larger than life villain. He's one of these big overbearing characters that we see, and yeah, really very cool and fantastic to finally have him in action figure. So let's dive in. Titanium Man does of course come in the standard Marvel Select packaging. It is that oversized packaging, it is huge, and it does have that wonderful display window there, but it also has obviously some of the branding on the side, and nicely they have a little image in the left hand corner there of the classic Titanium Man, which is a really nice touch. One of the things that really took me by surprise is the fact that we're actually getting an extra head. I hadn't realised this. I don't know whether they advertised it, but really nice to see that we're actually getting an unmasked head. I think that's really cool. The chunky side panel has some really exciting artwork there. I love this image, I think it's really beautifully drawn. And then the reverse of the packaging just displays the figure. There's a little bit of a bio there, and of course an image of the swapped out head. So the reverse isn't too exciting, but really you're going to want to display this on its side with that fantastic artwork, which is great. Out of the packaging, he is everything you would expect him to be. He's big, he's heavy, he feels like a really solid Marvel Select figure, and yeah, they've done a fantastic job with the sculpt here, both on the head but also in the body, obviously. I think the most striking thing is the paint job they've done for the green there. At first glance, it looks like it's all just one shade and there's no actual paint wash, but there is. If you look closer, there actually is sort of a bit of a black wash over it, which just really enhances it, and it gives it this slightly metallic look, even though I don't think it's metallic paint. And oddly, in my hands, it's a lot darker. It looks like a really dark green, whereas on camera, when the light's on it, it lightens up, so it's almost like a more of an emerald kind of green, which is really cool. Diamond Selected Operatives give him quite a lot of articulation, so we can see that he has that ball joint in the head there, which allows him to spin his head right the way around, but it also allows a little bit of give to go up and down as well, much more than I thought we'd get actually, and yeah, I'm actually really pleased with this. He does have ball jointed shoulders. At first I was worried that the shoulder pads might hinder his movement, but it really doesn't at all. Like, it's actually a soft plastic that molds with it, which is fantastic. And he also has an upper bicep swivel, which is really cool. Added to that, he's got a ball joint at the elbow as well, so that spins around 360 degrees, and of course it's hinged, so it's a single joint that allows it to bend to about 90 degrees, which is pretty standard. And he has that peg swivel at the wrist there that allows his hand to spin around 360 degrees, but also it hinges so he can pull it in and out. Now mine's brand new, so it's a little bit stiff, but I can assure you it does bend all the way, which is fantastic. He also has that upper torso ball joint effect, so he can swivel around quite a lot, so he can spin from side to side, and he can lean forwards and backwards. Not a great deal forwards, but quite a good distance back. He's got ball jointed hips, and at first I thought that the skirt might get in the way, but again, it is that soft rubber there, so it just moves with it, which is absolutely fantastic. So there's no hindrance there whatsoever. He can kick his legs out to the side a really good distance. He can kick them forward. They tend to arch out a little bit, but that's pretty decent. I was also really surprised to find that he actually has an upper thigh swivel. So this is something I don't think I've seen before in a Marvel Select, certainly not in a figure of this kind of scale, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, he's got those ball jointed pegs there at the knee, so he can spin his leg from side to side, as well as hinging it, of course, at those 90 degrees. But he's also got the ankle pivot as well with the rockers, so that means his ankle can move from side to side, and again, he can hinge it forwards or backwards. And I also really like that they've bothered to add a layer of texturing on the soles of his feet. These are spiked soles. Again, nicely painted, that silver paint there, but yeah, they're really good to the touch. Like, he definitely feels like he's got a lot of grip. I think this head sculpt is really, really cool. It's got a lot of aggression in it. It looks really fearsome. You can see the paint apps just in the individual teeth and on the lips. And of course the wash that's going through his beard there. I just think it's a really, really good head sculpt. And it's a pretty good likeness to what we see in the comics as well. So yeah, 2 thumbs up for this. He's quite light on accessories, but he does come with a couple of extras. He has the helmeted head, of course, as well as an extra pair of open hands. And to be fair, I think this is the look that most of you are going to go with. It's certainly going to be the look that I use in my collection. Obviously, I want him with the helmet on. And yeah, it's a really nice replica of what we see in the comic panels. I love it. I just think it looks fantastic. For the sake of a size comparison, here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends Titanium Man we got a few years ago. As you can see, he just absolutely towers above him and makes him look really weedy by comparison. And here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, Joe Fix-It figure, which of course is a Hulk. And yeah, again, you can see he still towers over the Hulk. And I actually think this scale seems pretty good, actually. This is what I would expect these 2 characters to kind of size up against. So this looks pretty solid. And here he is next to the Iron Man 2020 Marvel Legends figure from last year. I love this scale. This looks absolutely perfect to me. I think if you put a Marvel Select Iron Man with this Titanium Man, they're not going to look quite in scale really, but I think if you put one of the Marvel Legends, it's looking really good. And more or less, as soon as I got this Iron Man out the packaging and put them together, I really started to see the potential for all sorts of displays and the fun that you can have with these figures. I think the Titanium Man just absolutely towers above them, and it's so, so good. I really feel like over the last couple of years, collectors have really come into their own, really. We're kind of spoiled for choice these days, as our collections really feel like they're starting to come alive. Between the good work that Diamond Select and Hasbro are doing, we're getting an incredible amount of interesting characters, but just fantastic sculpts, and it's just an amazing time to be a collector, really. But I have to say, as much as I love the Marvel Legends line, of course I'm an avid collector, and I love the vast variety of characters that we now have on our shelves, thanks to Hasbro. No one, and I mean no one, seems to be able to do an oversized character the way Marvel Select do it. This is where Marvel Select really, really excel. Their larger-than-life characters are just so huge, and they're so perfectly complementary to the Marvel Legends line. It's incredible, really. So overall, final thoughts, I'm actually going to give this figure a 4-star rating. That's not because it's a bad figure, it's not because there's anything wrong. Of course, it's got 4 stars, it's really solid, I love it. I love the way they've rendered this character and brought him to life. They've done an incredible job. One of the things I did notice with it, though, as I was trying to pose him, is that man has a tendency to want to lean forwards or one side to the other. Also, the articulation, whilst it is incredible, it's really wonderful, it wasn't quite as dynamic as I was hoping it was going to be. It doesn't kind of live up to the promise. When you start seeing there's all these extra swivel joints and things like that in there, you expect it's going to be able to have a much wider range of motions you can put them through. But actually, I did find there was still some limitations there, just due to the sheer size of it, which is unavoidable. But anyone who's familiar with, say, the Juggernaut from Marvel Select, or one of the Hulk figures, you'll kind of have a sense of what I'm talking about. Even though I'd have to say he is obviously a significant cut above, he's got a lot more articulation than usual, but it still doesn't quite work the way it should. But that said, it only loses 1 star for that, because overall this is a really, really pleasantly surprising figure. I didn't expect to get a lot of the extras we got here, so the extra head. I didn't think we'd have as much articulation as he does have, and he's a real surprise. He's won me over. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please do give it a like, and remember to subscribe, as I'll be posting more videos soon.